conference room. I'm Scott Kellogg, chairing the meeting for Steve Koth. And we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Dean Veneman, Alderman, sitting in for Thad Kupchak.
Shane?
Tim Masorsi, Finance Director.
Jay Bemke, Alderperson.
And Alderman, or zooming in?
Tom Rayom, Alderman, 4th District, sitting in for Steve Cole.
Okay, thank you, Tom. The first item on the agenda is called the order, and we did. Number 2, consider for approval a contract for construction management services for the fire station renovation. Scott, you want to, or Tim?
So I believe yesterday I sent out the proposal to everybody that Myron had sent. We had 2 proposals from Market and Johnson and Myron. Myron's came in under Market and Johnson. So that was our recommendation, is to go with Myron. The mayor, Tim, myself, and Joe Terry met with actually 4 firms to go over what construction managers' roles and responsibilities were. And that's why we took bids from Market and Johnson and Myron, is because those 2 really understood what we thought was what the construction manager's role and responsibilities were. And so we asked for proposals from them too. So we have what we sent to you as the proposals, and that would be our recommendation. What we don't have right now is the contract from them. We had a teleconference or a virtual conference with 5 Bugles on Tuesday. That's when we saw the bids. We went with Myron's bid, being it was lower. And then the contract we just received this morning. The contract won't change their proposal at all, I don't believe, in what they're asking for cost. But the contract is in Attorney Schill's hands right now. She's reviewing it. So I guess what I would request is that we accept their proposal with no substantial changes to that contract, kind of like we did with the design company with 5 Bugles.
Tim?
Yeah, I guess the motion would be the recommended motion would be to approve the proposal from Myron Construction for construction management services for the fire station renovation and contract subject to review and approval by the city attorney.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
And Sue does have that contract. It came in, I think it was like 6 this morning, 6:30. So I haven't even really seen the contract yet itself. So, but it was forwarded to Sue for her review for any changes. It's pretty much a generic contract from what I understand. So there might be some changes, but I don't think it would change this project at all, or their cost, what they're looking for. So
Yeah, the contract that they submitted is a standard contract that a lot of firms use for this, the same language and stuff. It's the AIA document A133, so it's pretty standard in the industry as far as the contract language and terms. But like I said, City Attorney Schill will be reviewing it, and if she has, and your motion and subject approval will be based on, obviously contingent upon her, approving that there isn't anything in there that she isn't uncomfortable with.
Okay, I'll make that motion as stated.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those any questions or with regard to that? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All aye. Thank you. Number 3, consider for approval a resolution for amending the 2020 budget.
Yes, first of all, I just would like to apologize for the getting the actual resolution to you. Obviously, I emailed it probably 45 minutes ago. I just gotten done with it. And Tom, if you check your email, you should have a copy of it.
Okay.
So that you can review it as I'm going through it. But basically, this resolution is basically taking some of the unanticipated revenue sources. It mainly is like grants and donations that we receive throughout the year. And all this resolution is doing is for the 2020 budget is recognizing that revenue and then appropriating that revenue over to the appropriate expenditure account that was used, the expenditures were used for what that money was for. And so I'll just kind of walk through the resolution. In the first part, you see under general fund, we have the routes to recovery grant. If you remember, the city received, submitted expenditures of $387,908 last year for the allocation that we had gotten from the federal government for COVID-related expenditures. And if you recall, in the 2021 budget, we had earmarked a portion of that money to purchase radios for the fire department and new squad cameras for the police department, and that was included in the 2021 budget. But subsequent to the approval of that budget, when I was working with the chiefs of the respective departments, we found that if we ordered some of these items in December, that we got some year-end price breaks. So we went ahead and did those. However, the expenditure then occurred in the 2020 budget. So basically what this is doing is appropriating that revenue over in the 2020 budget to cover those expenditures. And then at the next finance meeting, when I bring over a carryover resolution and budget amendment for the 2021 budget, I'll amend that budget to take that appropriation out of the 2021 budget, because obviously now it's in the 2020 budget, and that's where the $224,225 is covering the radios for the fire department and the squad cameras for the police department. So that's what this. The EMS fund, every year we get funding from the state of Wisconsin for EMS-related expenditures of $647, and just appropriating that over to the appropriate expenditure account for that grant. And then also, we also received in 2020 some health HSS provider relief fund from the federal government of $28,000 because we provide Medicare ambulance services. So we got an automatic allocation, and it was one of those things where all of a sudden the money just showed up in our bank account. And so then they said, okay, you can use this for eligible COVID-related expenditures. So I'm just appropriating that $28,000 over to that. And we have until June of this year to spend that money down on eligible COVID expenditures. In the grants and donations funds, that's where you'll see where that routes to recovery grant, that $387,000, that's what we submitted eligible expenditures for, and we reimbursed for those. And so that's just recognizing that revenue and appropriating over for that. You see the canine donations. Obviously, we got a new canine dog, and the police department was doing a fundraiser for that. So we got $39,000 and change for canine donations, and that's using to cover obviously the purchase and training of the dog and the related equipment. In 2020, we applied for and received an urban forestry grant for $50,000. That's what that is. In the aquatics and riverbank fund, when we did our final borrowing for that project, a lot of times when you go out to the market for bonds, you'll get a bond premium. And basically what they're doing is they're giving you money up front, but increasing the coupon rate on the bonds so that they're more saleable. So basically what happens is they pay you that money up front, and then by IRS rules, we have to take that money and put it into debt service then to make the interest payments to kind of even that out so that it's not impacting the property taxes used for that. So they're basically prepaying us interest up front that we're going to use to pay the higher coupon rate. And so basically I'm just recognizing that premium and then the transfer of that premium over into debt service, which will be used to fund those interest payments on the higher bond rates. And on the flip side is just recognizing in the debt service fund to transfer those funds in. And part of that bond premium is used because normally when we issue bonds or debt, in any one given year, the first payment is in the subsequent year, so that you have time to budget. These were structured where we used some of that premium that we had a interest payment due this year, basically in November for those, and so that bond premium's using to cover to make those interest payments, and that's what's reflected there. And then you see the $92,000 of what's left over from that premium is reserved for future debt, and then that will be used towards interest payments. It was accounted for in the 2021 budget. So basically that's the resolution. It's not, this budget resolution is basically more of just a budget bookkeeping. It's not creating any additional appropriation for future expenditures. It's just using, money we received under grants and other things to cover existing expenditures.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the amendments for the 2020 budget as stated.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No nays. Number 4, to approve the resolution amending the 2021 budget. Tim?
Okay, unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete that one for this meeting. I had high hopes that I'd be able to get it done. So basically, I'll probably be bringing that back at the next finance meeting. And basically what that resolution is going to be is every year we have like depreciation accounts, equipment replacement accounts that we put money inside, and then we carry those funds over from year to year to fund the purchases that are funded out of that account. Also, if we have any unfinished projects, like we budgeted money in 2020 but weren't finished, we'll carry those funds forward. So it's kind of good that I didn't get to it, because that's kind of one where I like to kind of provide some explanations and things like that and get that to you ahead of time. So I will bring that back at the next finance meeting.
Okay, thank you. The next item is adjournment, and we're adjourning at 4:45. I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.